of the staff, management, or ownership of this station.
But it really should.
It's time to get on
We
the
know
right
it should.
path with Right Path Real Estate Radio.
We're going to talk about
Tom
Bitcoin
Perry,
today.
Jason
Oh, I've been on my
Michael.
I got on my Bitcoin rant again this
Did
morning.
anybody respond to that?
Taking action
Not
and
yet.
succeeding
Oh,
today.
that's odd.
I am dropping bombs.
Oh, wow.
Get ready. The guys that will put your fears behind you are on the air now. They're taking calls at 713-785-1817. Toll free 877-881-0271. Here's Tom and Jason.
Hot mics.
Welcome to the show. Jason Bible, Tom Perry, Right Path Real Estate. Tom, I have a theme for today's show.
Oh, good.
And I'll tell you, it's not Bitcoin.
Because we didn't discuss it in the pre-production meeting.
Yeah, we had our pre-production meeting today, which happened about 2 minutes before the show went live.
We talked about everything but the show.
Yeah. So we are not. Well, we talked about real estate.
Yeah,
We're looking at pro formas for 2018. We're gonna
our pro formas.
Our pro formas.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about the JB and the TP up
Right.
here. So, the theme for today's show is an investor's best friend. And you know what an investor's best friend is? It's discipline. That's an investor's best friend. Being disciplined in real estate, in your real estate deals, in your investing career, focusing on what's most
Probably need to get
important.
in the
Yeah, you
shot.
want to let me scoot over a little bit.
Otherwise, I'm chopped in half. So.
Yeah.
All right.
So an investor's best friend is discipline. I've been seeing on my Facebook, and you guys have probably been seeing this on your Facebook too out there in Radio Land. We've seen a lot of people who are now, quote, Bitcoin investors, which I saw this when silver hit its all-time high. You've seen it with gold. We were talking about the Iraqi dinari yesterday, which is hilarious. But it's like that whole group is now...
Well, if the Iraqi dinari can just get up to $100 per $100 of US, then man, I'll be worth like $30 million if I had bought $30 million of Iraqi dinari.
Iraqi dinari.
Yeah, which I didn't.
But you knew a lot of people that were doing that, right?
yeah.
It was so stupid.
It was.
So we're seeing the same thing with Bitcoin. And I'm seeing real estate...
Well, here's the thing. Speculating and investing are not the same.
No, two different things.
Yeah.
If you got some play money you want to throw around and you don't care losing it, go for it. But otherwise,
But it's a little
not.
bit like when you go to Vegas. I mean, nobody goes to Vegas with an investing strategy, right?
Yeah.
And so I would say that the speculating that you do on Bitcoin is exactly like going down to the roulette wheel or the blackjack table, and you sit down with, if you can lose $10,000, sit down with $10,000, and don't plan on going home with more than your $10,000. If you do, it is statistical luck. I mean,
Yeah.
that's really all it is, because there is no statistical way to design an advantage for the player. It just doesn't happen.
But I read this book that said I do
Yeah.
this and this,
Yeah.
and that's how I win in blackjack.
Yeah.
Well, and Vegas at least has pretty girls and free drinks when you're
Yeah.
at the roulette table, which they don't have
At Bitcoin.
at Bitcoin when you're sitting there in front of your computer trading Bitcoin.
Yeah.
You just have your spouse and your kids wondering, Dad, why are you flushing our retirement and college fund away on Bitcoin? What is Bitcoin? And of course, you really don't understand what Bitcoin
it hit,
is, right?
But
So-
Jason, it hit 10,000 yesterday, a
Yeah,
record high.
yeah. What do you think the record high was for Beanie Babies? There was a record high for Beanie
You're
Babies.
just a hater.
I'm a hater.
I don't know why you're being so mean.
I am a meanie. Guys, seriously, just focus on one thing, and that's the theme of today's show. Is discipline is an investor's best friend. To be disciplined. In other words, I want to buy houses in this market at this, price point. I mean, that's what I want to do in this business, and I'm hyper focused on that goal to that end, because Bitcoin's not going to retire you. Investing in the stock market's not going to retire you. We're building a new slide deck for our Thursday night, and Colby and I were going over some retirement numbers. For you to make $5,000 a month in retirement for 20 years, you need to have saved $1.5 million.
Based on current interest rates.
Yeah, based on all that stuff. And
Right.
$1.5 million. Oh, you want $10,000 a month? That's $3 million.
Or it's just a certain number of Bitcoins.
It's a half a Bitcoin.
It's Yeah.
Oh my gosh, just so ridiculous. Anyway, so I would much rather have a bunch of paid for
Well, to
cash
have a
flowing real
Bitcoin,
estate.
assuming that you bought Bitcoin for $1
Yeah.
and it went up to $10,000,
Yeah.
and you did that once a month, right?
I guess it's
Yeah.
so ridiculous. It goes on the same vein as, well, if I bought Apple when it was a nickel. Yeah, well, Apple was a garbage company when it was being sold as a nickel.
But see, Jason, what you don't understand is
Mm-hmm.
that if Bitcoin starts falling, I'll just buy more.
That's right,
And
yes.
I'll dollar cost average
Yes.
on Bitcoin, kind of like folks did in Enron.
Yeah.
In fact, as the price of Enron shares were falling,
Mm-hmm.
all the professional, stock advisors, right? All the people that the people that follow the stocks, they're the advisors on that stock, right? All of them were
All the
giving-
analysts, right?
All the analysts were giving strong buys on Enron as it was imploding.
My favorite, and there's a clip out there, and you guys have got to watch it. If you want to see ignorance on parade, Google Jim Cramer and Lehman Brothers. He was a strong buy the day before that collapsed. Buy Lehman, it's awesome. Woo! And then it just imploded. You know, that all that
You don't think it's possible he was shorting that, do you?
I don't know. If he was smart, he was, but I don't know about Jim.
People don't do that, do they? Like give a strong buy on something they're shorting? Would they? People wouldn't do that.
They'd never do that.
No, never.
Or let's say you run a big investment bank, and let's say you tell everybody to buy
While you're selling.
while your prop desk tells everybody to buy, but then you are selling the other side of the trade on a sell. So, yeah, I don't. Tom, I'm sure that never happens.
Never happens.
So I can't wait. CBOE is supposed to start doing, trading options for Bitcoin. And I'll tell you what I'm going to be doing. I am totally thinking about setting up an account just to go and short it. But anyway, so
But if it had just gone to 10,000, you would have lost a lot of money yesterday.
That's right. I would have.
You'd have been having a margin call.
That's why those contracts are not daily contracts.
That's right.
So let's talk about real estate. Let's talk about what's going on in real estate. We closed a deal.
Well,
yeah.
I want to just you were touching on discipline. I got in a conversation yesterday with somebody about why does Michael Phelps have a coach? Right? The swimmer.
Yeah.
And it's not because he needs to be taught how to do a breaststroke or a butterfly stroke or, the whatever the freestyle stroke is, all that. He knows how to do. He knows right where the angle is that his elbow has to come out of the water. He knows right where the hand has to be. I mean, he's got the stroke down. But he needs accountability because let's face it, left to his own devices,
He's going to smoke dope.
yeah, he's
And eat Doritos.
not, and party a little
And party,
bit.
yeah.
Hang out in Colorado, smoke dope where it's legal.
I mean,
yeah,
you're an Olympic swimmer. You're the most decorated Olympian. I'm sure he has a real shortage of friends.
right. Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure he doesn't get invited to any parties.
No, not at all.
There are no temptations in Michael Phelps' life.
So it's like, hey, Michael, it's time to go do your 100 laps in the
Yeah.
pool. That's what the coach is there for. It's the accountability.
Well, he not only does he have the coach in the pool, I can't remember the guy's name. I got a picture of his face in my mind, but older gentleman. So not only is he in the pool, but then he's got a nutritionist
Yeah,
too.
right, sure.
Michael, you need to eat 10,000 calories today, or whatever his ridiculous number is.
Put the Doritos down.
Put the Doritos down.
Yeah.
You need this.
you need more chicken breast.
That's
you
right.
Need
You need
more
this.
tuna fish.
Actually, for them, it's probably a lot of carbs. I mean,
Yeah.
just carb them up. Come on, man. We got to go. Got to get glycogen in you. Right. So that's what you need a coach for. And a coach keeps you accountable. We did a big blog post that I'm sure people unsubscribed to our email list because it had what my mom calls a little potty talk in it. And it talked about how you need a trainer, right? And a true coach will keep you accountable. But the term coach in real estate and mentor in real estate education has been completely just demolished just to mean somebody you write a check to and never get any results. What you really need is a trainer. It says, all right, here's what's going to happen. You're going to come to the gym today. And guess what? As your trainer, I don't care about the fight you just had with your wife.
Right.
I don't care that you were up all night because you had a sick kid. I don't care what's going on at work. Guess what? You're doing 100 push-ups.
Yeah.
And we're going to count them out until you get 100 done. And after we do 100 push-ups, then we're going to do a little running. Yeah, it's hard. We can do, in Right Path, we can do everything. We can help you with everything. We can do everything for you except for what?
The work.
the work.
Yeah.
I can't do the push-ups for you. I can't do the sit-ups for you. I can't choose what you put in your mouth. That's nutrition. At the end of the day, you have to decide, I want to be a real estate investor, and it's going to require me to do a certain number of things in order to be successful in real estate.
2 minutes.
And I'll tell you right now, nobody can make you successful in real estate with no work. If you bought that program, sorry, it doesn't exist.
Correct.
You wrote a check, and you're never going to get to cash it. That's just the reality. This business takes work, just like any business.
But without a trainer, you may be doing a lot of work, but there's a difference between doing work and doing result producing activities. Because you can do biceps incorrectly, or
Yeah.
you can do push-ups incorrectly and actually injure yourself. You could actually do more damage than you are good. But if someone shows you how to do it correctly, like no, turn your wrist this
Yeah.
way, turn your hands this way, put your in relationship to your shoulder, put your
Yeah.
arms this way, all of that. Then if you're doing them correctly, then you're going to get the benefit of the effort that you're putting in. You've got to be doing proper effort,
Right.
in order to get the results that you want. It's not just effort. And you know what? You can do push-ups the wrong way a long time and not figure it out on your own. And a lot of people have this misconception that, well, if I just start doing it, I'll figure it out as I go. I mean, I know people that have been doing push-ups for years, and they've been doing them wrong, and they get maybe 10% of the results they could be doing, but there's nothing in the art of doing the incorrect push-up that shows them that they're doing it incorrectly.
Yeah, this is a great example. You and I met with some folks recently, and they said, well, we really want you to help us out, but we already know a whole lot about real estate. And I said, you don't seem to understand. That 0.01%
Yeah.
is the difference between buying a few houses a year and 100.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter how much you know, it's that last 1/100th of a percent. All right, when we get back from the break, we're going to talk more about disciplined investing. It's Jason Bible, Tom Perry, Right Path Real Estate.
Mike Saw.
Ooh, Ginger doing a little trolling.
Yeah, right.
Can you just drop Bitcoin in a slot machine?
That's
Investor
awesome.
loans offering up to 100% financing are
The
still
trolling.
available. You just have to know where to look. Look no further than
You know what's
Noble
weird
Mortgage.
is because
Noble
Bitcoins are just
Mortgage is a full-service
the
mortgage
long chain
company that's
digits,
been
right?
helping investors
And
since
but
2003. Noble Mortgage
I've
offers
actually
up to
seen
100%
they always have the
financing to
Bitcoin
investors that
itself, but they
covers
don't actually
purchase,
produce those
repair,
coins,
and
right?
closing costs.
Yeah, so it's like
In addition to private money,
so is there
Noble
just like
Mortgage
one
offers
coin that's out there for all
conventional
photographs? I
loans,
mean,
FHA,
I think there's a
no
bunch of them.
it's
Yeah.
like a
implementation loans for both
commemorative.
residential
That's a tough,
and commercial
commemorative
properties. Call and
coin.
ask about our 5-point guarantee, which includes free pre-qualifications within 2 business days. Call 713-680-8100 or visit noblemoney.com. That's noblemoney.com.
Yeah, Richard, I
Our
talked
team
about
has over
that
50 years
whenever you
experience
get
in
back
mortgage
into the gym.
industry.
Like I'm getting
Call
back
us
onto the
today,
bike now. I went and
713-680-8100
did a little
or
ruck
visit us on
Monday
the web,
night,
noblemoney.com
and it's that
and
first,
noblemoney.com.
it's the first couple of weeks where it's like it's your body. I don't want to say it resisting. I think it's getting used to what
Yep.
you used to do, and it's
Yep.
like, oh man, I remember we used to do this. It's like, all right, give me a couple weeks to get used to doing stuff. So yeah, that initial effort, for us to go out and buy a house is no big deal. Tom goes out there and like, hey, does this thing, and he comes back with a contract. But when we were first starting out, we were both there, and when should we call him back, and we'll do this, and
Remember the Navy dude?
oh my gosh, I'll never forget that guy. I still have his image is burned in my mind.
Family real estate investors.
I just looked at you and you looked at me and like, it's time to go, isn't it? I'm like, I'm done. Let's get in the. We hadn't even bought any houses yet, and I'm like, I don't want to talk to this guy anymore.
Information directly pertaining to property condition and potential.
I bet he
real
still
estate
lives there.
Oh, I bet he does too.
Either that or he's dead. Just out of pure meanness.
Eddie told me a story one time that he dealt with a guy very similar to that.
Yeah.
And it was the same deal. He said he got, real gruff with the guy. It was basically like, "Are you done talking? All right, is it my turn to start talking?"
Yeah, right,
You know how
yeah.
you get. I don't think he ended up doing the deal, but at least he told the guy like.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh no, we had a dude that was much worse than that. And we just walked out." I'm like, I don't want to deal with you.
Imagine if you could use someone's IRA
One of
to
the-
fund all of your deals.
One of the things
Well,
you guys will
can.
see as you go
Quest
into like
IRA
full-time
is
real
based
estate
locally
investing
here in
is
Houston, Texas. At Quest
it's a
IRA,
little bit
we
nerve-wracking.
offer
Obviously, it's
retirement
risky,
accounts
right, when
that
you
can
first
be
start
used
it.
to
But
invest
one of the
in real
best things
estate,
is I don't have to come to
promissory
work
notes,
and
private
deal with
entities,
mean, ugly
and much
people.
more.
Right.
Like
Many
you
of
do
our
it
clients
your
loan
work. If
money
you have
from
mean,
their
ugly people, it's your
IRAs
work.
to fund real
I don't have to
estate
deal
deals
with,
all over the
you know,
country.
Sharon
We
in
don't sell
accounting
any
who's a
investments or
nightmare.
give
They just got
advice.
put on this
However, we do
cross-functional
hold free
team that now I'm
networking
on.
events weekly
we just
educational
don't deal with those
classes,
people, and it
and
makes
free
your life a lot
consultations
easier.
with an IRA specialist. For more information, visit our website at questira.com.
So I'm trying to get Sarah on the right
or call
path
us
on a
at
Jeep. I'm like, hey, you need to
1-855
let's go ahead and get this thing
IRAs
figured out and
to
get it
tap into
ordered.
the $24 trillion
Oh,
in
yes.
retirement
It's
accounts
perfect.
in the U.S. Call Quest IRA. At
Yeah, especially that.
1-855
Yeah, right.
That'll never be broke.
Or go to our website, questira.com.
I think that's sexual harassment.
Investor-friendly
I feel
general
harassed.
contractor for your investment property? Then call Fast Track Remodeling at 832-742-9992
wait 1 minute, guys.
or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Fast Track Remodeling specializes in turnkey remodeling of single-family investment properties. Whether it's a flip rehab or a rental rehab, we manage every aspect of a rehab from start to finish with a highly efficient, standardized process.
Over the last 6 years, Fast Track has completed
gave
over
the present-
700 projects,
the
which has helped us
Right Path
create
Financial
our 3 keys to
Education
success.
training
Use a
or
detailed scope of
pitch
work so that
one
everything
Thursday
gets
night,
done,
didn't you?
train and
Yeah.
maintain quality
Should we
crews so it
contact
gets
the
done
Deer
right
Bros and get them to,
complete the work in
or at
a
least
proper
maybe
order
like
so it gets
David,
done
so we do the
fast.
No
maybe
more
do the
managing
pitch
it
again
yourself,
this
no more
Thursday and
doing
say
the
like,
work
hey guys,
yourself.
y'all need to sign
Fast
up
Track
for this.
Remodeling really
Okay.
does manage it all.
So give us
Especially
a call
if
today
I think
at
if we got the slide deck from
742-9992.
from,
Again, that's 832-742-9992.
Robert Orfino.
Yeah,
Robert did
Or
a
reach us
great
on the web
slide
at
deck.
fasttrackremodeling.com.
And if we sign all the folks up from Basecamp and
This is
Pathfinder, I
business
need them on.
1110.
They got to get on
Call
my side.
Jason or Tom at 713-785-1817. Or look for us on Facebook Live at facebook.com/
yeah.
Right Path Real Estate.
Hot mics, guys.
Welcome back, Jason Bible, Tom Perry, Right Path Real Estate. We're not investing in Bitcoin. Just go ahead and let everybody know that right now. We invest in real estate, stuff that actually works.
Well, I was thinking about, there's a lot of people that have joined our coaching program or our training program, and their strategy for 2018 was to buy, fix, and flip somewhere between 10 and 15 houses. Mm-hmm. But they joined our training program prior to Harvey happening. Mm-hmm. And with what's gone on with Harvey, I think it's a unique opportunity to build generational wealth. Mm-hmm. Because you can go in and buy rentals at 50 cents on the dollar, 70 cents on the dollar. I mean, where, to me, when I can buy an asset that I know is worth, let's say, $130,000, and I can be all in for $100. I mean, I've just captured a $30,000 increase in equity the moment that I buy it. I mean, buying at a discount is what investors do.
Right.
Or they buy out of favor assets, knowing that those assets are, they have an intrinsic value. I mean, machine shop equipment, there could be a glut for a short period of time, but then, eventually there's going to be a shortage of it, right? It's just, can you warehouse, when we talked about when oil dipped to $40 a barrel, right? Or, $25 a barrel, right? I mean, what was the low it hit just, in the last 2 years?
Did
30?
it get down to 25?
I think it
can't
got to
remember.
25. And we started talking about, who here wants to buy oil? And nobody said they wanted to buy oil, right?
Yeah,
and
I was like, this is the perfect time. There were a couple of smart oil and gas finance guys in the back of the room,
Yeah.
and they both hands up. They're like, we're buying everything we get our hands on. Everyone else is like, no, don't buy oil.
No, because it's fallen, and it's like, wait, I mean, do you think it's going to stay at 25? I mean, it's gonna go back to 70. And so the question is, if there's that from 25 to 70 is a $45 spread, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you could have a cost of $20 to store it, $20 a barrel to store it from the time that it, wherever it's. And that's really what the issue is where do you put, if you bought $1 billion worth of oil at $25 a barrel, where would you put it, right? I mean, because you actually have to take delivery on it to own it, right? And then, so when I look at what people are doing with Bitcoin, and it's like, there is no intrinsic value to Bitcoin. It's essentially it's you're trading on air essentially, right?
Yeah.
You're buying air, and it's the nearest thing to a Ponzi scheme that I've seen in terms of there's only a minute amount of it available, right? Because there's the way that the numbers were set up, but it was just made up in someone's head, and people are trading it as if it's something. It's nothing
I-
more than an idea.
I love when they talk about, with the fiat currency, the cryptocurrency is going to replace the. So you guys got to understand what the U.S. dollar is. Do y'all really know what the U.S. dollar is? The U.S. dollar has value because we have the strongest military that has ever been on the planet.
Yeah.
That's why the U.S. dollar will, realistically, when you set all of the economic arguments aside, the reason the U.S. dollar will always be the reserve currency for the planet is because we absolutely dominate the world. And militarily.
Right.
And the reason that's important is because it adds stability.
It does, right.
So
yeah, nobody's worried that our democracy is going to fail anytime in the next 50 years, right?
Regardless of all the morons on the media telling you what Trump is going to do and nuclear war and all, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll give you a tip. You guys want a good economic lesson? I'll give you a good economic lesson. What is the first thing a country buys when it starts to prosper? It buys food. Do you know where they buy that food from? The United States.
Yes.
Every single time. You want to look at something real interesting? Look at the rice business, the rice industry. The first thing any country does as it begins to prosper is they start buying American agriculture. The idea that any of these countries are going to start nuking each other is ridiculous. It's not going to happen. It's just not. The United States is way too valuable in the world. Now, the whole idea that Bitcoin and these cryptocurrencies are going to replace the U.S. dollar is absurd. We heard this exact same talk when oil was at a high with the petrodollar, and that thing imploded. So, trade the Bitcoin all you want. We're going to keep buying real estate and make real money. That's what our people are going to do. In fact, we were doing the math the other day inside of RightPath. And remember, RightPath is I think we only have it's less than 60 people in our group.
Right.
Our acceptance rate from the weekend retreat to our base camp and Pathfinder is less than 10%.
Yeah.
It's a pretty small group that we end up bringing on.
Yeah, it's an application process.
It is. It's a whole process to get in. So when you look at that group, we will buy collectively 1,000 houses next year, most of them in Houston.
I think it'll be higher than that.
I think it will be too, based off all the Harvey stuff. So,
because we have one that'll do. I think they'll do 100 once they get cranking.
they'll do 100. We'll do 200. I know Draku would do 300. That's 600 right there. So 400 between the rest of everybody else. Heck, I saw some of our buy and holds. They posted up. Amanda posted a thing on Facebook. They just closed on number 28.
Yeah.
So I can totally see us where we're going to have our group's going to buy 1,000 houses next year.
Yeah.
And our group is not 10,000 investors.
No.
It's less than 100.
Right.
So it tells you the amount of wealth that's being created in our group. In fact, in our Right Path Financial Education, somebody shared this with me the other day. We have more seven-figure earners in that group than we do people who make 50 grand a year. I was blown away by that stat. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. He said, no. We pulled out the list of all the people in the group, and I was like, yeah, I know all these guys' businesses, and they're seven-figure earners, right?
Yeah.
And it's amazing. And this has all happened in the last 18 months. It's amazing to see the stuff that we're building in Right Path. And so if that's something that's of interest to you, we've got an event Thursday night at 9999 Westheimer. It's our Intro to Income and Wealth workshop. We're going to discuss how we build businesses or how we build income and wealth with our real estate business through flipping and wholesaling or lending, borrowing, lending, and buying rental properties. How do you build income and wealth in this business? And we've gotten pretty darn good at it. And not only that, we've gotten pretty darn good at teaching it as well. So little did we know we're good at buying real estate, and then we're good at teaching others how to buy real estate the right way, reducing their risk while increasing the amount of money they make on each deal, the amount of wealth they create on each deal. And then more importantly, if you're out there buying houses now and you don't have a coach to call when you get stuck, you don't have a good sounding board to work with, especially here in Houston because of all the flooded houses, we do that on every Thursday night inside our base camp group. So if you're interested in any of those programs, the way that we teach, start with the event we've got Thursday night, or just come on out to the weekend retreat. And I'll tell you, the weekend retreat, I think you got some numbers this morning. I got some. We're almost 50% sold out. We're about 40%. So, and that's December 15th, 16th, and 17th. That Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I suspect we will probably sell out in the next 7 days, if I were to guess. If things keep happening like I think they're going to happen, we're not going to have very many seats left for the December event, and we do not have one planned yet for January. So if you're interested in really building a real estate business, if you're really interested in building a portfolio, building wealth with real estate, it's Right Path Real Estate. It's our group is the one that really teaches it how to do it at a very high level. And what we measure success by is buying multiple deals. Are you able to reach your goals? It's so funny when we go to networking events. I'll chat with somebody. Hey, what do you do? I do this, and I'm a flipper, and I've only been able to flip 2 houses, and all that. And we can peg which real estate education company they went to, based off their lack of success. It's so funny. It's funny and sad at the same time. Somebody will say, "Well, I bought 5 rental properties and I'm out of money now, and I don't know what to do, and I'm trying to buy some more." And then we'll say, "Oh, you went to so and so's. You're in so-and-so's real estate club." And they look at me and they go, "What? How did you know?" I said, "Because we see you guys all the time." So, like Jim Rohn says, success leaves clues.
Yes.
And if you can have small success, buy a couple of houses, or you can have big success. And I'll tell you, when you get into this business, nobody gets into this business to buy 4 rental properties.
2 minutes.
Get in this business to buy 10, 15, 20. Really build a portfolio that's worth leaving to your kids someday, or to a foundation that you support. Build a legacy. In fact, I'll tell you, we're putting in some seed capital right now for an endowment fund, which is a lot of fun. So I'm getting to dip my toes into some of the nonprofit stuff, which has been a lot of fun. But I'll tell you, you have opportunities now that you will not have 2 years from now.
Correct.
Like, this is it. This is 2007,
Probably in the
2008
Houston
all
market.
over again in Houston.
And that's, they say all real estate is local, right? But
Yeah.
I think that 2 years from now, you won't have this opportunity in single family. I think you'll have an opportunity in commercial.
Yes.
And so now's the time to be learning so that you're ready, start building your strategy. And we talk about that you're the average of the 5 people that you hang out with the most. And you have to ask yourself, who are you hanging around with? Are you sharpening your sword? I used to be a competitive racquetball player. Mm-hmm. And I knew the top 10 or 12 guys in Houston that played racquetball. And we call each other, "Hey, where are you playing tonight?"
Mm-hmm.
Because it wasn't the same place.
Yeah.
And I wanted to play against the top guys.
Yep.
I didn't want to go play against some beginner. I mean, that's
so fun.
No, it's not fun. Yeah, it wasn't fun for me, and it wasn't. I promise you, it wasn't fun for them either. But it's like I wanted to be able to get better. In order to get better, you really, so you think about any kind of endeavor, you want to hang around with the people that are doing it at a very high level. So
Eagles don't fly with the turkeys, kids.
That's right. Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. Don't be afraid to call.
Mike's off.
Do you have cracks in your brick, doors that stick, or sheetrock that's coming apart? Then you may have foundation movement. Due to our expansive soils in the Houston area, it's probably not a question of if you have movement.
Okay, so
but when.
apparently,
Call Foundation Check
all I
for a
need to
truly
do,
independent,
look at this,
unbiased
to hit that.
foundation evaluation. Foundation
Yeah,
Check
dude,
has
you're
been
like
in
right
business
there.
since
I know, right.
2009
And then
and
let's
has
see what
completed over
next
1,400
one.
evaluations.
That's what I'm saying.
We're not that far here.
No, we'll go up
selling
a
you
couple more levels.
unnecessary
Man, I
field
can't.
work. So we are in
How
the
can you
business of
read that?
evaluating
I
your
can't read any
foundation.
of that.
Our product is designed
glasses
for
on?
house workers,
Well, I do too, but
landlords,
it's like, okay,
or
click
even
on
owner-occupied
this
properties.
and go to
Each of our
Click on
files is
this?
reviewed
yeah,
by
and
a
then let's
licensed
go
engineer.
to this one.
Remember to
No,
check.
damn it.
before
I was trying to go to
ever repair.
RFS.
346-702
That one right there.
Yeah.
3825. That's 346.
Yeah,
Dude,
but
we're not that far.
Well, yeah, we are.
25.
Yeah,
Well-
You can reach us online
Yeah.
at
Yeah, we are.
foundationcheck.com.
How much is it?
That's
9,000?
No,
foundationcheck.com.
no, we've got
Oh,
9,000 out of 80.
Okay,
We're only
okay.
10% of the way
Go-
there.
go back.
Let
me see.
Go to
3.
That requires 40. We're a quarter of the way there.
Okay, go back. Which we picked all that up in the last month.
Right.
Yeah, see,
So that requires 20. We're halfway there.
And here's the problem. See, what's the gross of that line?
Well,
Doesn't tell you.
Okay, so no, this is it here. This is what
Okay.
you've got, and you've got to get to 10, and this is what you've got to, and you've got to get to 10.
Are small returns getting in the way of your retirement plan?
Like, so max from that leg can be 10, right? But you got to get to 40,
The experts agree. Single
or
family
20
real estate
total.
is one of the best
but you can't have more than 10 from
Find
one.
out how JB Fund Services offers a 9% preferred return and up to a 13% waterfall. Call us today at 281-915.
So we're closest to this. Look at this.
Yeah.
We're
That's
10 people away here.
Right, and so that's why I keep saying, hey, it's great that you guys keep piling
Right.
people in here, but it's like you got to get
But
them over
but
here.
it's not actually that far apart though. Just so you know. Because look at this. It's only for all that's been going on over there. It's only about 1,000 apart.
Is that so those are the gross numbers?
These are the gross numbers. It's like it's 50 to 40. Like
Okay.
out of 90, it's
yeah, that
50
makes
to 40.
sense because I'm at 3910.
Right.
And if you include mine, it should be right at
Right.
4,000.
It's-
Yeah,
it's
4010.
It's 50 to 40. So
Yeah.
it's so.
But I'm worried because they're putting a lot of ringers on that right side. I'm like, which is fine, but I'm like,
at AndersonAdvisors.com or call for a free risk
So they've actually got and
financial
this
blueprint
this
at
number down here, what that is, right? That's what's left to bill for the month based on people because they haven't hit
okay.
the billing cycle yet.
Okay.
So that's left to bill. So it's really 54 to 40 out of
Okay.
94.
Yeah.
Are you expecting to close accurately,
I've
on
got the
time,
new-
and with
where's
lots
the new
of
plan at?
communication on
Here
your
it
home
is.
purchase?
Well, this is the
You've
new
come to
plan
the
right here.
place. I'm Jennifer Hernandez, Senior Loan Officer with Legacy Mutual Mortgage. Our goal is to give our borrowers
need
and
to
referral
get
partners an amazing
this-
experience during the loan
I
process.
want us somewhere
My
between
team
these
believes
two,
in putting people and
because then with the
culture
life
before
insurance
results.
piece too
Our
and these
company
bonuses, we should hit
concentrates on
about
building those
40 a
teams
month,
who
if I were to
operate with
guess.
structure, process, and
Which
recognition
is
for going the
1,000 to
extra mile
2,000?
for you.
Yeah.
This way, we have the energy to make this your best home purchase ever. Give
Dude,
us
the
a
people
call
that joined in
today
November
to
are
find
going
out
to
the
kill
simple
it.
steps to get
Kill
started.
it.
Yeah.
I'm Jennifer
awesome.
Hernandez. The
Yeah, it's great for them.
Hernandez team at Legacy Mutual Mortgage.
It's good for you.
But it locks them in like long term though.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
good for you
Oh,
too.
I know it is. I'm just teasing.
579-3611.
Oh, we're gonna keep doing this?
Oh, we're on the show?
We
Settle
can't
down,
wait
fellas.
to consult with
Settle
you soon.
down.
NMLS 514497.
Equal Housing Opportunity Lender. NMLS 514497. This
I'm totally going to call Robert Orfino
Yeah.
and say we need to put together a Bitcoin fund just to see what he'll say.
Hopefully he's not listening.
Look for us on Facebook Live at facebook.com/RightPathRealEstate.
Hot mics.
Hey, welcome back, Right Path Real Estate Radio. Let's talk about real estate the rest of this show, and what we can talk about. You know, you can either join us on Facebook at Right Path Real Estate actually it's facebook.com/Right Path Real Estate, or you can call in 713-785-1817. What I'd like to send out a challenge right now is that most people get stuck in a couple of different areas. They either get stuck in marketing, or they get stuck in their plan. You know, really, real estate, there's only 4 ways to make money in real estate, right? We talk about buy, fix, and flip. We talk about wholesaling. We talk about buy and hold. We talk about being the bank, being the lender. So there's only 4 ways. And then within those 4 ways, you really, what you've got to figure out on each of those strategies are really a different business. I mean, if you're going to wholesale properties, that's probably most similar to, if you're going to do your marketing and all that, similar to being a buy and hold guy, right? Because it's similar marketing and it's easier to wholesale to buy and hold investors than it is to wholesale to flip investors. That's hard. And no, you know what I see? No one that I see teaching wholesale ever talks about that.
Nobody talks about that.
Yeah.
And I don't know why.
You know what it is? I don't think they know the numbers well enough
think
to
they do
even
either.
figure that out. So anyhow,
Yeah.
that's just my theory. But it's hard to get wholesale deals. To build a business wholesaling to flip investors
Doesn't work.
Well,
It's not great.
So it could work on a 1 or 2 or 3 case basis, over a period of time. But it's like building a business out of a blind squirrel getting a nut every now and then. It's like, can it happen? Yeah, it can happen. But I wouldn't want to build a business model out of that, right? Because not only that, it would be bad for business from the scalability of it, but it would also be bad for business from a how much money you're leaving on the table. Most people
you're leaving so much money.
I mean, it's like if you're finding those kind of deals where you're leaving enough meat on the bone to be able to flip it to somebody, to wholesale it to somebody else that can flip it, why not just flip it yourself?
Yeah.
I mean, that's and the number one reason is, well, I don't have the money, I don't have the credit. You know, it's like, hey, but it's a self-collateralizing asset. I mean, having a conversation last night about bankers and. You know, I don't want to bash on bankers, but, you know, most bankers, what they want to do is they want you to put, you know, if you want to borrow $1 million, they want you to put $2 million into their bank.
That's right.
And they'll pay you like 1% interest on the money that you put in there. So you're earning, you know, 1% on the $2 million. And then they'll loan you up to $1 million of you, they'll give you a line of credit of up to $1 million, like 50 cents on the dollar.
Yeah.
And then they'll charge you like 5% on that, right? So they're making 4% on you know, lending your own money back.
That's right.
I mean, that's really, and for those of y'all that don't understand banking, that's how conservative they really are. And when you need money, they don't want to lend it to you. It's when you don't need it. You know, you got $2 million sitting in the bank and you need to buy something for $1 million. They want to lend you the $1 million.
That's right.
Right. And that's banking 101. Unfortunately. But you know what? There are other bankers out there, and financing is like a pendulum. It's going to swing in terms of underwriting, in terms of what qualifies. What's unique about this business, unlike any of the other businesses I've been involved in the past, it's a self-collateralizing asset.
Yep.
What your business has to do with that asset, and it's the asset that generates cash flow, and it's predictable. I mean, here's the thing. People need 3 primary needs met. Food, shelter, clothing. If you're involved in... Now, the problem with clothing is there's not a whole lot of margin on that, right?
I got to be honest with you. I was wondering where this whole conversation was going. I was like, wait a second. What are we talking about here?
Three basic primary needs.
Yeah.
Food, shelter, clothing, right?
Yeah.
So you got to stay warm. I mean, not just for modesty and all that sake, but you got to stay warm. So clothing, the margins on clothing, wow. I mean, I know there's a lot of markup and things like that, but what actually falls to the bottom line when you calculate waste and all the other things is like, there's not, I mean, retail clothing is, I mean, look at Sears. I mean, they were at one point in time one of the nation's biggest, the world's biggest retailer, right? And I mean, I'd be shocked if there still exists 2 years from now.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about a stock that you could probably short.
Part of the problem with Sears is when they got bought by that private equity group and they leveraged it up. That's part of the problem.
Too much debt, right?
Too much debt.
But still, I mean,
they've lost a massive amount of revenue.
Right, absolutely. Okay, so there's clothing and then there's food, and the margin on food. I mean, I mean, if you know anybody that's ever been in the retail grocery business, I mean, that's a tough business. I mean, there's no mom and pop retail grocers anymore. I mean, there's the HEBs, there's the Randalls, there's the Krogers, you know, and most of those have consolidated. Like Randalls is not just Randalls in other markets and things like that. I mean, the people that own Randalls own Tom Thumb up in Dallas, et cetera. So most of them are really, really big players. And of course, they all have to go against Walmart, right?
Yeah.
And now Amazon, and now that Amazon's gotten into the grocery business. But then there's shelter. And shelter is probably the least efficient marketplace in terms of, and that's where we get a huge advantage, is in that inefficiency, the fact that you can capture income and wealth from one asset. Normally it's one or the other. It's like, imagine, you know, I used to look at when I stocks fascinated me when I was like 16, 17, 18. I was one of those weird kids at 16 years old reading economic books for the fun of it, right? And back then, you know, stocks were traded in eighths, and there was a lot more inefficiency in the marketplace, and you could actually, you know, there were strategies where you could...
you trade on the fraction, right?
You could trade on the fractions, and you'd be cutting the market maker out, and because you were trying to bid a little above him and sell a little below him. You can't really do that anymore because now that we're on decimals, you can't do that. But all that's to say that because of the inefficiency in the marketplace, I used to study stocks that had dividends, right? And if you could ever find a stock, and normally they were the least of the sexy stocks. I mean,
dividend investing is not. You're not bragging to your friends about the companies you're buying.
No,
give a
no.
dividend, right?
But there were stocks then that would pay a dividend consistently, had been paying for like 40 quarters, which is like 10 years, right?
Yeah.
Been paying the same dividend every single time. And when you would see those stocks dip in price, it's like, man, if you that was an incredible strategy, which really doesn't exist anymore because, for a lot of people don't realize is that when we went from a pension plan type of system for retirement where big corporations, you basically had a defined benefit. So whatever benefit you got when you retired, when we moved from a defined benefit plan as a country to a defined contribution plan as a country, so much more money went into equities. That there's more money in equities now than there are equities to buy.
That's right.
If you ever want to study large numbers, look at what our national debt is and total up the national debt, and then to put it into perspective, try and see how many of the Fortune 500 companies you could have bought with that money.
Yep.
And the answer is pretty much all of them.
Yeah. Yeah, start at the top with number 1.
Yeah, which is like Apple.
Number 2.
Yeah, and then that one. And then number 3.
Number 3.
You could own all the airlines. You could really basically have for all the liberal socialist people out there that want redistribution of wealth and all that, if you weren't giving it to all the poor people, you could have bought you could have turned this really into a communist country because you could have bought every single company out there. But I'm not in favor of that.
So here's the Fortune 500: Walmart, Berkshire Hathaway, Apple, Exxon, McKesson.
Which
Health
Berkshire
Group,
is,
CVS.
as a company, when you look at all the companies that they own, because they own big chunks of of American Express and Coca-Cola, and
they own what's the big train company? Is that not Trans-Pacific? It's the other one. But yeah, you could have bought all of the Fortune 500.
Yeah, United. We could have solved our healthcare problem because you could have owned all of the health insurance. You could have owned United Healthcare. You could have owned Cigna. You could have owned you could own CVS.
Yeah.
CVS is number 7. You could own General Motors. You could own every oil company out there. AT&T and Ford. They already own government motors, don't they? I mean,
yeah, I don't know if they finally pay. Well, it's always tricky accounting when you say how they pay them back and all that nonsense.
Sure, right.
But then again, it's not really about fixing the problem, is it?
No, it's not really.
Oh, it's BNSF. That's right. I forget. Ginger, Ginger works for the railroads.
So does she?
Yeah.
Oh.
So she said, yeah, it's BNSF.
Yeah.
Which is funny because when Warren made that trade and he bought that company, that's when he came out against the Trans-Pacific Pipeline, Transatlantic Pipeline.
Yeah, because he wants the oil going on trains.
That's right. One of the biggest commodities gets pushed as oil, and so that would cause a little dip in their revenue. All of a sudden, Uncle Warren is an environmentalist.
Well, because the pipeline could leak, right?
Oh, of course.
But a train can't ever leak.
No, it doesn't ever crash.
No, they can't crash and leak. No, that's never happened.
Never.
No. All right. You're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. We talk about all kinds of things, not just real estate. But our main focus is the number one way that you can build wealth today is through real estate. It is an incredible opportunity. I would pick it over Bitcoin. I'd pick it over stocks. I'd pick it over bonds.
We pick it every day because we don't invest in any of that other stuff. Somebody told me, I don't want to be a one-trick pony. I'm like, I want to be a one-trick pony that does one really good trick. You go to a pediatric neurosurgeon for what? To work on kids' brains.
Well, there's two strategies.
Do you care if he's good at anything else?
Right.
I don't.
There's two strategies. You can have some people say don't put all your eggs in one basket, and other people say put all your eggs in that one basket and guard the snot out of that basket.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean that's the other thing is a neurosurgeon, right? I remember my friend Brian. Dr. Brian, he was up at Texas Tech, and Texas Tech Medical School was recruiting for a pediatric neurosurgeon, and this was back, mid '80s, late '80s, right? And the salary was $1 million a year, and a country
Wait, that
club
guy didn't
membership.
make minimum wage,
right? But I mean, what do you think that guy put all his eggs in one basket?
Yeah, he
Heck
sure did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, sometimes. In our society, journalists don't make as much as specialists do.
Nope.
And if you can specialize in one thing and get really, really great at that one thing, and that's the thing that I realize is that a lot of people, they start doing one thing, And when it starts getting difficult, they switch to something else.
Yeah.
Now, are there things outside of your control and things like that? Yeah, because like I was in health insurance, and you know when that industry basically imploded, you also have to keep your eyes open. If you were in buggy whip manufacturing in the early 1900s, you know.
Yeah, but most people don't have that problem in real estate. It's
Correct.
like there's always plenty of stuff to do. We get back from the break, we're going to talk more about buying real estate, building income and wealth, single-family properties. Jason Bible, Tom Perry, Right Path Real Estate.
Mike's off.
You found or inherited a great investment property. Problem is, you don't know how much it's worth, or more importantly, what to do to maximize your investment while mitigating risk. This is exactly why we started Next Gen Appraisals. Next Gen is a group of appraisers specializing in investment real estate. We understand that investors aren't just looking for a number of what their property is worth, but a comprehensive analysis of the market. Give NextGen a call at 713-346-9911 or check us out online at nextgenappraisals.com.
Are you looking for an investor-friendly general contractor for your investment property? Then call Fast Track Remodeling at 832-742-9992 or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Fast Track Remodeling specializes in turnkey remodeling of single-family investment properties, whether it's a flip, rehab, or a rental rehab. No more managing it yourself. No more doing the work yourself. Fast Track Remodeling really does manage it all.
So give us a call today at 832-742-9992.
Taxes. Just the sound of that word makes people cringe. At Anderson Advisors, we provide tax reduction through asset protection for real estate investors throughout the country. Our unique philosophy has CPAs, lawyers, bookkeepers, and estate planners with one common goal, helping you, the real estate investor. Check us out today at AndersonAdvisors.com. And don't forget to tell us you heard about us at Right Path Real Estate.
Real estate investors, if you're not familiar with Quest IRA, let me tell you what you're missing.
You should be.
We've got free weekly educational classes, networking opportunities, and the ability to tap into trillions of dollars for your real estate investing deals. Come by our office or join us remotely as we simulcast all of our educational classes every Tuesday morning and evening. For more information, call us at 1-855-FUN-IRAs or visit our website at questira.com.
As a real estate investor, you rely on your property inspector
You almost
to
what?
determine the current condition of the home and your potential return on
You're
that
like,
investment from an investor's point of view. Principal Inspections was founded by investor
Oh.
Jeremy
And I'm like,
Huffman to do just
yeah,
that. Principal Inspections works from the investor's point
like,
of view,
I gotta
providing
go.
affordable, fast, quality inspections with
That sounds
information
awkward.
pertinent to investors while not clouding.
Not
the
awkward for me.
unnecessary
Yeah, right.
That's whenever that happens, I just walk right in.
Time and money. Call Principal Inspections.
You know, in Asia, they have a lot of,
5516 or
they
online
don't
at
separate bathrooms by
principalinspections.com.
men and women,
Like
right?
that
So it's
number
not
2 in
uncommon. You're just
264.
there and, hey, so what are you doing here?
Time is money in a real estate deal.
Surprise.
If your insurance
That I
company
assume
is
they have a
slow or
private room where the
non-responsive,
commode is.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
the deal like that.
Which
You need
more
to
and more
turn
restaurants
around
are doing
on
that here
phones,
now.
reminders, the agency for
Yeah,
the
I like
market
the, you know, where they have the individual, yeah,
The
the
community-
little community thing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, the community hand wash station.
We're here for you. Are you
That
a
way you
rehab,
got eyes on
hotel,
everybody. Everybody's
buy and
washing their
hold,
hands, right?
Bundling your properties on a
I
single
it was a little weird.
policy
I was at
time
True
and money.
Foods one time,
Benchmark
and
has been
you
in
know they
business
have
for
the
over 20
community,
years.
and I'm washing my hands, and some girl's doing her mascara in the mirror, and I'm like, okay,
You're
that's
like, this is just like at home. This is great.
At 281-569.
just put another rental under contract. Oh, nice.
281-569-4353.
Way to go, Rhett.
A Bear.
Benchmarkbroker.com.
He said he wants to do I said, hey, man, you got to do a testimonial for us. He's like, I'll totally do one next time I'm in Houston.
Nice.
4353 or online at benchmarkbroker.com.
Are small returns getting in the way of your retirement plans? Why settle for mediocre results? There's a better place to invest. The experts agree. Single-family real estate is one of the best investments you can make. Find out how JB Fund Services offers a 9% preferred return and up to a 13% waterfall. Call us today at 281-915-0906 or visit our website, jbfundservices.com. That's 281-915-0906. This investment is offered to accredited investors.
This is Business 1110.
Call Jason or Tom at 713-785-1817 or look for us on Facebook Live at facebook.com/RightPath.
All right, fellas, hot mics.
Welcome back. Jason Bible, Tom Perry, Right Path Real Estate. Just trying to build a little income and wealth with real estate today. We had a decent Tuesday. I got a deal. Oh, are you signing a contract right now?
Yeah, but I don't want to talk about it.
All right. Anyway, so, we closed a deal on Tuesday. It was a pretty sweet deal. A little flip house. Doing more of those, buying rental properties. We just got a note. Somebody in our group just bought another rental property. So this isn't that hard, folks. Now, it's kind of like Jim Rohn says, what's easy to do is also easy not to do. Now, you got to work hard at it. It's easy, but you got to work hard at it. Are push-ups really hard at the end of the day? Not really. Once you've been shown the right technique and how many times you need to do it and all that stuff, you'll get fit doing push-ups. So the question is, what do you want to do? Where are you trying to go? What are you trying to accomplish in your real estate business? Are you trying to build income? Are you trying to build wealth? Are you trying to do a little bit of both? Talk about all these things at our weekend retreat. We call it the new name for the weekend retreat is the Income and Wealth Workshop. We're doing an intro for that Income and Wealth Workshop, about a 90-minute intro Thursday night. If you go to rightpathrealestate.com, you can sign up there. We do want you to RSVP for the event, so we got a chair for you. Again, that's rightpathrealestate.com. Sign up there, and you can see the event. And it's an introduction to how we build income using flip properties and wholesale properties, and how we build wealth by funding deals with our IRAs and buying rental properties. You need two things to build that legacy. You're going to need income and you're going to need wealth. And the only way to do that is by doing those four things in real estate. We'll talk about those Thursday night. Our weekend retreat is coming up. You can go to rightpathrealestate.com, sign up for the weekend retreat there. And I want to thank you guys for listening to the show. Tom, you'll be in studio tomorrow. Build Your Team Thursday.
Build Your Team Thursday.
So that'll be a heck of a lot of fun. Until then, we'll see you guys at the weekend retreat. That's the next time y'all will see us. We'll see you there and teach you how to do what we do. It's Jason Bible, Tom Perry, Right Path Real Estate.
All right, fellas, have a good one.
All right.
All right, bye.